Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay, this is Coloring Bliss, and welcome to this week's event. And it's July, so happy World Watercolor Month. We're going to be doing a project that I have wanted to do for over a year. So I've got all kinds of supplies here to dive into this project. And part of this is we're going to be experimenting on some new paper that we found when we were at the store. This is canvas pad paper. So it's like a hybrid canvas / paper. I don't know exactly what it is, how it's going to act, but after we've done my experimenting with the watercolor paint and what you're here for, which is to make our own watercolor brushes filled with paint, we're going to try it out on this paper here and see what this is all about. So we've got two things to try out today to celebrate Watercolor Month. So welcome, I'm glad you're here. Let's get started. I'm excited. Okay, I just wanted to interrupt this video real quick to remind you to watch to the end of this video where I'm going to tell you how to enter for a chance to win this complete set of Derwent Inktense pencils. We're doing a giveaway for World Watercolor Month this July 2020, so you have the full month to enter for your chance to win this set of pencils. So watch to the end of the video so you have a chance to win. Good luck, everyone. So one of my favorite things to color with is watercolor brushes. They come in several different forms. Arteza makes a line. They look like this. Let me show you what they look like here. Okay, so this is Arteza's setup. At least the last time I looked, this is how they make them. Woo, almost dumped them out. They are like a pen, has all the watercolor paint inside here, and then it flows out into the bristles right here, and you get paint that comes out. So they're really handy. You get brush strokes. Let me demonstrate it for you in case you've never seen these before. I'm just going to grab a piece of watercolor paper out of this pad. So we can work on it. Okay, so this is how it works. You can see you can get nice painterly strokes because it's actual bristles. These are nylon bristles in these. So it's quite fun. And then they have different size sets. Different companies make really similar type tools to this. Here's another one right here. This one's by ColorIt, and it comes in a nice canvas case. And I think these are refillable. They have a twisty end. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's the same idea, has the bristles. These bristles are a little smaller, and then it has an end that you can open up like this and fill it up with refillable ink. Now I'm not sure, I haven't checked ColorIt's website to see how much these cost, if they've come out with new colors, if they have refills. I'm not sure on all of that. Another set that I really like, that's one of my absolute favorites to play with, are the Jane Davenport Mermaid Markers. They look like this. They have both glitterers and standard. This looks more like a standard watercolor water brush like these. This is just a standard water brush. So you fill this up with water, this reservoir, and then you can pick up your paints and actually paint with them. So this is a really handy tool to have for any kind of standard painting. So the Jane Davenport Mermaid Markers, instead of filling it with water, it's filled with her paints. So these are really lovely and fun, but very expensive, and the ink or paint inside of it is really strong, very vivid colors. So that's really fun to play with. I love them. These tend to leak a little bit on me, so I have to store them very carefully. Sometimes when I pull the caps off, you get a poof of color. Like if you look at this one here, this is a gold one. You can see when I pull this cap off, Yeah, see, there's dried paint up in there. The problem with the glitter ones that I've run into is that, yeah, even this little cap thing has come off, but that's okay. You have to shake these to get the glitter dust mixed into the paint, and the shaking action will sometimes force paint up into the cap. So yeah, this gets messy, but that's okay. I don't mind a little bit of a mess, but what is kind of frustrating to me is that these Jane Davenport Mermaid Markers, which are my favorite of everything I just showed you, these are the most expensive, really expensive. And so it got me thinking, I can purchase these empty. Can I purchase some watercolor paint and make my own mermaid markers, my own watercolor brush pens? So that's what I did. I purchased a set off of Amazon. When I purchased these, they were 12-piece watercolor brush pen set for $12. And they came like this. So we got a variety of nibs and tips. We'll take a peek at that here in a minute. I'm not sure the quality of these. My thinking on this project was I was just going to get sort of a basic set of these brush pens and kind of a basic to cheap set of paint and see if I like making my own watercolor brush pens. And if I do, then I might invest in better quality paint and maybe better quality brush pens and kind of up my game. So lots of different brands make these brush pens. So like I said, I just went in for some cheap ones that I found on Amazon. So I'll put links to these brush pens and also the other products like the ones from Arteza and ColorIt and the Jane Davenport brush pens. And then this is the watercolor paint, the liquid watercolor that I picked. It's by Sargent Art, and there's 6 little bottles in here. We're going to open this up and see what I got. This was also about $12 for this, and I'm hoping that we can mix them. I read a whole bunch of reviews, and I'm hoping we can mix and make our own colors. So in the end, I'm hoping for 12 different colors in the pens. That's my plan. They've been sitting in my drawer for a few months, and I noticed we may have a bit of a leak issue, but we'll see what we've got here, which one leaked and what their quality is like. So here is the red, and it's 1 ounce in each of these. So the brand I wish I could have bought is Dr. P.H. Martin's liquid watercolor. They get really high reviews. There's tons of different colors. They're artist quality paints, and they're already pre-mixed. So I could have bought 12 separate colors if I wanted to, and then I wouldn't have to mix my own colors and all of that unless I wanted to. So someday, if I really like this project and I want to make more, that's probably the brand I would go to next. So I'll put a link to that brand as well. So here is black. It looks like black may have been the one that leaked. I'm not sure here. Yellow, and we have green. So if any of them did leak, it didn't leak much. I don't see one that is super empty, so that's good. I was worried that maybe there was one that was really empty. Looks like it came with some project ideas inside here, so that's fun. Sargent Art also had, I think, a box of 12 different colors in this line, and they had some iridescence and some metallics, all kinds of stuff in this line that they were making. But I just went for the most basic. Like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to like doing this, so I wanted to start inexpensive and basic and go from there. Okay, so we have 6 colors. We're going to be doing some color mixing and see what we can come up with here. I also have on my table here my glycerin. Now, glycerin is an additive that's been added into watercolor for ages, for a long time. It's a humectant, and they also use it to keep the watercolor from becoming brittle as it dries on your paper. There's other things they add into watercolor. It's not just glycerin. So glycerin's going to do two things for me. If I add it into this, it may already actually be in this. I don't know. I don't know. I tried to read and find out, but there was no information online on what this has got in it. But I've mentioned before that I live in Utah, which is more of a desert type area, so I have trouble with my paints drying too fast on me, and so I wanted to add a little bit of glycerin into the paints into here so that hopefully they'll dry a little bit slower for me. So yeah, glycerin's going to do two things for me. It should help the dry time, and it should help the paints dry really nicely on the paper. Again, that's an experiment and just things I've read, so we'll see how this all turns out. So I've also got some little pipettes to help me transfer paint into the little brush pens. So we'll see exactly what I need. I've got some bowls and cups, all kinds of things to help me with mixing. So yeah, let's take a look at what I ended up with here with my brush pen set. I'm curious what the different nibs are going to be like in this brush pen set. Okay, let's see. Ooh, this one's kind of a big flat brush. Here, let me change angles so you can see better. So this one's flat. Ooh, that is a little tricky to get the cap back on with all those bristles. I think it'll be easier once the bristles are wet. So we have a flat and another, I don't know, that may be a little bit bigger flat. Oh, if you can hear breathing, that's my cat. He's asleep on the chair next to me. Usually Steve's sitting on that chair. He's working on a project and Mishka took his chair. Okay, we have like a round type brush nib here. A few of the bristles are a little weird. And in general, it feels cheap. I wasn't expecting the most amazing quality here, but hopefully it'll just be decent. I'm hoping for decent quality. Here's another flat, just shorter, fewer bristles. This one, another round, just smaller. Interesting. Never bought a variety pack like this. This one seems identical to the last one. Yeah. So I think we've got two of each is what I'm getting at here. Another round one like that other one. Let's see. A bigger round one. Okay. Yeah, another flat. So that's I'm gonna have to decide what color to put in each one. That's gonna be tricky. Ooh, there's another big flat one. Interesting how it's sort of twisted. Oh, that's just really tricky to get all those bristles to go back in that cap nicely. So I've got like 3 so far of those big flat ones. I think this is going to be a more medium-sized flat one. Interesting. Okay, and this looks like a round. Okay, so that's the brushes I got in that variety pack. And it looks like some of the reservoirs are bigger than others. So yeah, that'll be good. Okay. Now to the paint. Let's see what colors we were given. So I'm going to take the caps off here and see if we've got a seal. Nope, no seal. So let's line them up. We're going to sort of do a color wheel kind of thing here and see what we get when we mix them. So we have yellow, this is the black, this is the one I think leaked, but yeah, there's still plenty of paint in there. So we have black, we'll put black over here. We have red, which we'll put next to yellow. Kind of put black over here on the side. That will be for, whoops, knocking stuff over. Black, when you add black to a color, it's called creating a shade. So that'll be useful. And then we have, ooh, that's a pretty violet color. So that would kind of come over here by the red. And then we have green. Pretty. And we have blue. That cap was a little loose. I think we're lucky that we didn't have more spilling. Okay, so those are our, we have yellow, blue, and red. So we have the primary colors, and then they mixed a couple for us. We already have violet and green. So what we need is an orange. So we're going to need to make an orange. We're going to need to make like a yellow-green would be really good. So let's get out our color wheel to kind of help us along here. Let's see. Good, I have it handy. So here's our color wheel. It'd be great. There's 12 colors on the color wheel. I'm not going to try to make them all because black is one color that's going to go into one of these. Yeah, so, but I do want a yellow green. That's good for painting trees. I'm going to want, let's see what they look like. Let's get out a brush. I'm going to want a brown. Brown would be really helpful. I'm going to grab this brush right here. And I forgot to get some water, so let me go get some water and I'll be right back. So let's just start by seeing what these colors look like. So I'm going to use my brush and we will just ever so carefully dip in with a tiny bit and see, this is the black. Okay. And this is the violet. Pretty. Okay, let's keep the caps in the right places. Let's see what the red looks like. It's a pretty red. Okay, and now the yellow. Very pretty bright yellow. Now the blue. Pretty. And now the green. Good. Okay, now this black is not a very strong black. It's very almost gray. So that will be good. So instead of thinking of it as adding black, we can think of it as adding gray. So it'll be more, it's almost got some blue undertones to that gray. Okay, let's grab that color wheel now and see what we think of the colors they gave us. It's going to help us kind of think through how we're going to add colors in. So the red is definitely, it's a cool red. So if you look at, let me see if we go to this view, if that will be better. You can see a little bit better from that view. As it's drying down, you can see sort of bluish undertones coming up. So that's just going to help me understand as I'm mixing what kind of browns I'm going to get. Now the yellow is pretty spot on to my yellow here on the color wheel. So that's interesting. And then if I look at this blue here, it's a pretty good blue match to my color wheel. And the green is a little bit, I don't know, a little bit of a blue in that green, but that's okay. And then violet, sort of a mix between the red violet and the violet, sort of in between those two. So we might want to try adding a little blue to get more of a blue violet and a little bit of red to get more of a red violet. I'm a purple lover, so the more violets the better in my book. So let's see what we can do here. Let's start by let's fill a pen, and I think the dark one would be good in one of these really fine liner pens. Let me show you which one I'm thinking. This one here with the really fine round would be good for the black, so I could do some line work and add some details like whiskers or lines on a fence, that kind of thing I think would be good in here. So what I want to do, I need to figure out how to mix in the glycerin before we put it in here. Can I put it in here and shake it? I think so. I think I should be able, maybe even with the pipette. Let's see how big of an opening there is. If I turn it and look inside, and now grab one of my pipettes. You can get pipettes at pretty much any art store. I got mine at a place called Got Oil Supplies. I got a whole box, a baggie here of 25 pipettes for only $1.75. So pipettes are usually really cheap. Okay, so will I be able to stuff that down there and stir it? I think so. I think that will work. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do you think, okay, Steve is looking over. Do you think I would be able to add like black in here and a little bit of glycerin and mix it in here? Stir it?
I don't know. Try it.
Okay, let's try it. Okay, so the glycerin is thick, almost like Caro syrup or Caro syrup. I can't think of the off-brand of what Caro syrup is. What's the off-brand of Caro syrup?
I can get my dollars.
Oh, he's working on editing videos over there. Okay, so I need one pipette dedicated to the glycerin, so I don't get contamination going on inside my glycerin. So I'm going to suck up some glycerin into this pipette, and it's really thick. So I'll pull some up in here. Come on. Did we get any? A little. Okay, a little is all we need. So this is going to be my glycerin pipette, and I'm going to stand it in this little mug right here. And we'll grab another pipette, and we're going to suck up some straight black watercolor and pour it down in. Now we could water this down if we wanted to. I could add a little water in here if I didn't want the whole thing to be just straight paint. But I want it to be really good pigment, so I can paint, you know, like those Jane Davenport paint markers, how strong they are. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Okay, so we're about halfway up. Let me show you. Filling this up, and now I'm going to put in my glycerin. So I don't want to put in a whole lot. So yeah, this dropper is not going to work well with glycerin. It's not behaving. So we're going to get the other dropper I have for glycerin, because that's not working well. I have a bigger dropper that handles the glycerin just fine. Where are you? Right here. Okay, so I'm thinking 3 drops of glycerin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go 4. 4 drops of glycerin. Okay, now I'm going to put the lid on and start mixing it in now before we filled it up, so there's room for the liquid to agitate around. Okay, good. And I'm just going to see if I see any. I don't see any blobs of glycerin, so I think it's working. Good. Okay, let's put some more in. I guess we could test it right now. Should we test it? Let's see how it's working. Now, usually these bristles work better if you get them just a little bit wet first to get the flow going. And then usually if you squeeze just a little bit, it starts the pushing of the, let's see, I'm just gonna fix this here just a second. There, move my head over there. There, you can see the paint starting to wick down into the bristles. They're turning black. And now, if we start painting, it's working. Look, we have paint. It's working. Wow, I did it. Cool, okay, let's put more of the black in. That's so exciting. Okay. So we have 12 of these that I get to do. So I need to decide what other colors other than these 6 that I want or need. I definitely need a brown. And I definitely need another tone of green, maybe even a blue green. Ooh, oh, this is going to be hard to decide. All right, I think that is full enough. All right, I'm going to put this dirty pipette right here in this mug. Put my lid on here. And I have my very first handmade, homemade paint pen. That is exciting. Okay, I've got a little cup here that we're going to put them in. Store it tip up, so hopefully any leaks won't happen. And we'll set him right there. First one down. Okay, now I want to start thinking about different colors and shades. And we need to think about what brushes we want to have what. That's the next trick. Okay, I've got these big fat ones. Let's bring up those ones. That's these 4. I've got 4 big fat ones. And then, let's see, I want to clean out this pipette. I'm going to use my rinse water over here to kind of clean it out. Okay, that's a clean pipette. All right. And then we have, this is also a flat, but a smaller flat. And then the rest of these are rounds. So let's put purple in this one here, in one of the small flats. And I'm thinking maybe like blue is like sky, so blue might be good in that one. Purple, I do lots of flowers with purple, so that's why I'm thinking this flat brush right here in purple. Okay, let's do it. All right, so we'll do the same process here. So to make my browns, we have lots of options on how to make a good brown. Basically, to make brown, what you need to do is mix a couple of the complementary colors. And the different complementary colors that we mix, we're going to get different shades of brown. Sometimes we'll get some tans, and it just depends on the undertones of the colors that we're mixing. So we'll try a few different variations and see what we end up with. Okay, now we'll go back into adding glycerin. Okay, 4 little drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm just gonna, I don't even know if I need to mix it, but I think I will, just the same. Yeah, I could feel it in the very beginning as I started tipping it. Okay. All right, now we'll finish filling up the purple. So this one I think is about the biggest, so we'll see how many. Oh yeah, we're okay. That bubble there is a problem. Go down, little bubble. You're making it messy, bubble. Let's see if I can get that bubble to go away. That's my first problem I've run into. The surface tension has caused a bubble with the purple there. Come on. There. That was exciting. So I've wondered about adding glitter, but the glitter Jane Davenport pens are the ones I have the most trouble with, because you have to shake them up first to get the glitter up into the paint. So they become really problematic and leaky. So I don't know about adding glitter. I've also heard of people using inks, not just the liquid watercolor, but sometimes the inks are too, they're not viscous enough, they're too thick, and they don't flow freely through the little valve and wick up into the bristles the right way. All right, so I think that would take some experimenting, and I do have some inks that we could try. All right, let's mix this a little bit. Get the ink on both sides here, and then we'll try it out. Okay, and there's a little bit of that paint there that I'm going to use to get the bristles going. So squeeze gently. And we are painting. Woohoo! Okay, we have a purple pen. And let's see how much purple paint is left. If you look at the bottle, we only used to right there. So we could refill this 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more times with this 1 ounce bottle. So that's really good to know and very exciting. Very cool. Okay, red. I think we'll do this other, I don't know, red. Sometimes I use for little details and things. So how about one of those bigger round brushes? Yeah, this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to clean out that pipette again. So basically, as I'm thinking about this, in the end, if this works, we're going to have 12 brushes for, let's see, the cost is going to be $24 for the 12, but we're going to have how many refills? 4 times 6 is another 24 refills. So that's $2 a pen for the initial cost. Let's see, how can I hold this so you can see what I'm doing? $2 a pen, a brush pen for the initial cost, but then we have 24 refills. Well, that's not true though, because we're going to be making some other colors. But even if it ends up being just $1 a pen, that's still really good value. Okay, let's add some glycerin. Ooh, I feel like I'm holding a vial of blood or something, this red one. Dip the tip into the water and give it a squeeze here. You'll see the red come down into the bristles. There it is. And we're painting. Woo! Okay. All right. Now, time to do the yellow. Now I have to decide what color do I want the yellow, which brush do I want the yellow in? Maybe because it's a primary color, we should do it also in a big round. How's that for logic? I don't know if that's logical or not, but we're gonna go for it. That's my logic. Yellow? Is that what we're doing? Make sure. Yeah, we got black, we've got purple, red, and now we're doing yellow. Okay. So I guess if I wanted to be a little risky, I could try squirting it straight from the cap. I'm not feeling risky. It looks so orange here, but it's that yellow color. Interesting. Let's see how this looks. It's already starting to wick up into the bristles, so I'm not even going to worry about. It needs a little water. Okay, let's let you see it paint out. There we go. Pretty. Now for the blue. So I think I'll leave this in the red. And I may just end up putting a pipette in each of these primary colors because we're going to need them for mixing. Okay, now the blue. The blue I think I'll do in this wider one right here. I like that one for the blue. There it comes. Pretty. Oh, so pretty. Ooh, look at that yellow and green. The layering of colors is starting to work. So pretty. Okay. Now the green. Okay. Let's do a bigger brush for the green. We're going to do one of these big boys. Okay, I got the green one filled up. Let's see what this brush is going to act like. This will be the first time trying this brush tip. Whoa. So this is actually a long round brush tip. Well, this will be interesting. Let's get a little bit wet and give it a squeeze. Let you see it from the other angle, because this is going to be interesting. Watch the green paint come down. That's cool. Wow, that's really satisfying to watch. Okay, let it keep wicking down in. Wow, that's really fun. Very cool. Yeah, I can do some good painting with that. Okay, that's that one. Now the cap should be way easier to get on because the bristles are wet. Still a bit of a trick, but easier. Okay. Make sure that cap is on. That's interesting. It's not. There's something's going on here that's not what it's supposed to do. Oh. There's a little piece in there that has come off. Like a collar for the brush. Okay, so we're gonna have to get that out of there. Hear it? Maybe some tweezers. All right. Steve will put up a timestamp for me to tell you how long I just struggled to fix that. I'm going to fix it so this doesn't happen again. Let me show you what happened. This little collar came off. So it belongs right here. You can see this piece is supposed to be on here like this. I think that's what's making it into a flat brush versus here it's a big round brush now because it came off. So it's not functional other than it has to be there so that the cap will snap on securely and stay on and stay airtight. So it has to be there so it's functional as in airtight. So I finally asked for help. I had my son, Rylan, who does jewelry and is really mechanically smart. He came and helped me. I tried tweezers. I tried everything I could think of. He used a paper clip, opened it up. This was up in here, and he fished it out. He was able to hook it and pull it out like that, and he pulled it and popped it out with the paper clip. So if this ever happens to you, a paper clip is your best friend to get that out. Man, was that frustrating. So my plan is to use a little bit of this glue, this E6000 glue, because I think it'll be the best bet to permanently adhere this puppy on here so that never happens. I hope never happens again, because that was frustrating. So I'm going to take a little bead of this glue and glue it on here, and hopefully my troubles are over. I'll just put a little bit of glue on here. Whoa, that stuff's stinky. I guess you could probably use some hot glue, maybe some crazy glue, that kind of thing. But I never want that to pop off again. So we're gonna just push off the excess glue here. And let that dry with the cap off for a little while. And it's back to being a flat brush now. Oh, wow. That was so frustrating, I cannot tell you. Okay, let's get back to the fun stuff. I'm just gonna let this sit here and dry, let that glue dry. Okay, back to fun. Okay, so we've now filled up 6 of the 12 brushes. I have more empty brushes, I guess, if I wanted to. Before I move on, let's glue the other collars so that doesn't happen again while I'm thinking about it. Yes? Okay, so I'm just gonna add some glue for Jennifer's sanity. Back on track. Now we need to mix some paint. We'll start with these 3 brushes here that have our varying sizes. We have a teeny tiny little round, medium, and a large round. So let's make some paint. So I know I want a blue-green, we want a brown. Yeah, I know a few things for sure. Let's see. Let's mix some paint in here. First we can test it though and see. I know we can go a little red. Okay. And if we mix in some green with that red, what color will we get? That's just one little drop. Let's see if we get a really ugly color. Yeah, so that's not a pleasing color. Okay, let's try red and blue. That's going to give us violet. Let's try red. Well, actually, the first color we should be going for is orange. We don't have orange, and that's pretty easy to mix. Let's just go for it. We can make orange without any trouble. Let's do it in a big one, because that's a no-brainer mix. The ratios is what we're gonna have to mix, so here we go. Okay, so this should be in between these 2 colors here. See if we need more yellow. I'm guessing more yellow because that red is pretty strong. Yeah. It's pretty, but it's definitely leaning red. So we want more yellow. Okay, let's see what color we ended up with. It's exciting. Okay, so the first color that's going to come out will be this original orange. So we need to kind of let that flow through, and then we should get down to our new orange. There. That's probably the new orange right there. Hi, Mishka. Okay, so we'll let that dry and see what color we made. And we'll put a cap on it. Wipe this down really good. I don't think that was a leak. I hope it wasn't a leak. Okay, I'm feeling like I wish it was more yellowy. So I'm going to add some yellow to it because there's room in the cap here in the bottle. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and mix up a few other colors here. We're going to do a blue-green and a yellow-green, and then I'll come back and we'll mix a brown together. Okay, so we're at the point where I need to mix the browns, and I've got a fresh piece of paper, and Steve just sat down, which I'm kind of glad, because I kind of need your color advice. So I want to mix some browns. We've got 10 colors made so far. I can't wait to swatch them all and show you guys what we've made. And tell you my journey with the violets. I ended up doing some things with the violets, and I've got caps back on everything because I've decided pipettes are a waste of time and effort. So I'm just squishing this stuff out into the bottles because the holes on here are really small compared to like when you buy acrylic paint. They give you a bigger hole. So they've given a tiny little hole to help. So, okay, so brown. I want sort of a reddish brown. So obviously start with red, right? And over on the other page, we tried mixing red with its complementary color green, and it came out horrible, almost like a black. So what do you think? Blue? I guess we just need to try, huh? So if I put one drop of red, maybe you can run the cameras so I don't have to keep reaching over.
What about getting some orange in there too?
That's yellow. Okay, so this is red and blue. And we already tried, but I'll do it again. Red and green. So we can see.
My first thought is red, yellow, and black.
Oh, the black has blue undertones, just so you know. So here's green and red, and see what they do. Okay, and here's red and the blue, and we can see what, wow, that blue is so strong. Look at that blue go. Let's pull more of that red in. Yeah, we're just should get a violet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were thinking red, yellow? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And black?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's red, yellow, and black. Oh. That's the best so far. Okay, what about instead of,
I would think like yellow and black should make kind of a darker greenish, depending, I guess, on their undertones.
yellow?
And then you add just a little red till your liking. It's kind of what it is, I guess, how I kind of picture it.
Okay. So pull the yellow in, and then pull the black in, and
Should
definitely.
become kind of green. Yeah.
And then you're thinking red.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we put the red over here now.
And maybe more red than. Oh, that's interesting. It's much more red than.
So bring more black in and more,
More
yellow
yellow.
in.
Yeah, I would bring more yellow in.
So what was this one?
That was yellow, red, and black.
That one's so far doing the best. So this was yellow, red, and black. This was red and blue. And this was green and red.
So did you say you wanted a red brown?
Yeah, a reddish brown.
Yeah, so that's kind of what you're getting there on the end, right?
This one here?
No, the other one, the last one that you
Yeah.
did. This one right here.
Oh, that seems bluey to me. So this was black, yellow, and red.
But yeah, even like you said, that green and that red, they are going brown as they're drying.
If we did violet, and yellow, and what? I don't know. Green? Let's see what those three together do. Purple, violet, and what did I do? Green. Wow, the green's winning. Yeah, that was purple, violet, and
Yellow.
yellow. All right, that was so. I don't like any of them.
It's not quite the color you're looking for, huh? What are you wishing?
More of a like. Let's see that one, or like a sienna, like that.
That's more what you're going for?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you need more yellow.
Not red. So yellow.
Okay, so you know how you had yellow and red over there and then black? Try yellow and red. No, the one over on the left, that one. Try yellow and red, but do more yellow than red.
Yellow.
So do two
drops of yellow.
2 drops of yellow to 1 of red. Try that.
That'll make orange. Oh, and then one black.
And then do that first and see how it mixes. Just to see, because what you went going for, that sienna you did, is pretty light.
Yeah.
And then you can use black to shade it. I wish you could do like half that black. Like, that's too much black.
Yeah, but that got us that, which I like. I like
so
that.
you could even do 1 more drop of yellow in there if you wanted to.
Okay.
And see what starts to happen and pull it out. And then you can see if it's getting too yellow, you could add another drop of red and another drop of yellow.
I like that. Okay.
And if you do 1 more drop of red,
So this is yellow, red, and black, right?
yeah.
And black, but it's with lots of yellow.
Yeah. And then, like I said, if you wanted to get to that sienna, then just do a little more red.
Okay, but let's start here because I like that. Now to put it in here, and we're going to do that one in a big brush, one of these big brushes. So here we go.
So that was 3 parts yellow,
Yeah.
1 part red, 1 part black.
So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we're just going to have to go a lot. Okay, there's a whole bunch of yellow. So we went to here with yellow.
Yeah, so about a third of that.
So right to maybe there. Okay, exact science. In red. And then a third in black.
Yeah, but not too much. I would
Maybe
back
to
off a little more.
there.
Yeah. Can always add more.
Okay, let's get our glycerin in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see what we made.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. It's fun as long as caps don't come off inside of other caps, and that was not fun. But we glued them all on, so hopefully that will never happen again. Now we mix. Get that glycerin mixed in, and our colors mixed. And hopefully we end up with something like these. Anything in this family will make me happy. That will give us a good neutral brown for trees and dirt and that kind of thing. That's what I'm after. That's why I picked this brush. So we'd have a good neutral tree dirt color. So we'll see what comes out, and then we can balance it. Either add more yellow or add more black, whatever we need to do. Okay, we definitely erred on the side of red, but look what we ended up with. Yeah. We ended up with that brown. So I'm not unhappy with that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, but I wish it was full, all the way full. So we'll just keep going here. Okay, so we keep getting this tension bubble. So you gotta tap, and then you can use your pipette, stick the pipette in and tap, and that pops that tension bubble. Okay, so I'm gonna go up to here. No, a little higher, to there with yellow. Definitely using the most yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to go to here with red. Maybe, yeah, why not? Okay, and then just a wee bit of black to tint it, because it's more of a gray. And we want it to be a pretty strong color, because with watercolor it's better to err on the side of a strong color because you can always water it down. Okay, let's mix that. And whatever it is, because our thing is full now. Our pen. Okay, so I'm going to rinse out those bristles. And we'll do the final test of what color it is. So I'm going to squeeze, let some of that paint come down, and we'll see what we've got. Yeah, it's more on the red side, so it would be nice to get one that's more on the yellowy now, more of a tan color, because that's a beautiful reddish brown. That's awesome.
So basically the same one, but just do more yellow.
Okay. So get that lid on.
Wow, that's pretty.
We did good, thank you. Okay, let's go again. And this is a very small brush. Okay, so let's go to say here with yellow, maybe a little higher because we want it to be more yellow than red. Okay. Right to there. And then we'll go to say here with red. And then let's tint it.
Shade it.
Shade it. Yeah, tint is with white. Ugh. Art terms. Hopefully I didn't put too much black in. There is a tiny bit of room left on this one. Oh, we haven't put glycerin in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. There's still a little bit of room, so we could correct if we need to here. Okay. Watch it be the exact same color.
I doubt it. You had so much yellow. The yellow kind of comes out a little more as it dries.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Okay, I think we've mixed it. Get the bristles wet. Okay, give it a squeeze. And let's see what color we have created. Well, here it comes. Oh, good. Look. We did it. It's definitely not as red, but maybe add a little more yellow. I think I'm going to add just a little more yellow. So it feels very different from that one. Oh, I'm excited. I'm glad you came over and helped. You gave me confidence. Okay, so we'll just top it off with the rest with yellow here to really lean it that direction. Give it one last shake, and then we're going to get out that new paper I told you about and sample all 12 of our handmade, homemade art pens. It's official. I have made my own art watercolor pens. 12 of them. Ta-da! Okay, let me clean up.
Oh, that's fun.
And let's see what colors I made. We'll show Steve. Okay, we got everything cleaned up. I've got my new watercolor brush pens ready to go. And I'm taking the plastic off of this new pad of paper that I purchased. It was $8.99 at the store, but I know it was on for 50% off. All these pads were on 50% off, so I got it for $4.50. Looks like there's 10 sheets in here. It says for watercolor and other wet medium, primed premium cotton is what it says. And it feels so strange. So I'm not sure if this is paper or fabric. Or what?
That's the sound of it separating?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This first one is dirty. That's a little shame, but maybe that's good for swatching. We'll swatch onto it. It's so strange. It feels like fabric. So it's much more like canvas, like fabric.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. That's what it says. Oh. Okay, so we'll swatch onto this. Yeah, one side feels primed, so we'll do it on this side. Okay, so let me show you what we made, you guys. I'm so excited. So we have our red. So some of these are straight from the bottle and some of them are mixed. We'll see if I can figure out which is which. And we'll see if we like these brushes here. So here comes the first one. This is the red. Interesting paper we're playing with here. So I was wondering if this could go through a printer, but I don't know, some printers you can do fabric in them. So here's the first one. We'll kind of do a square for each one. There's red. I don't know what's what. We're just gonna go for it here. Here's the next one. This is our blue. Ooh, I like this bristle, this brush.
So you have different brushes.
Yeah, the 12 pack came with a variety of brushes. So this one's more shorter. Okay, let's see what else we got. This was our violet, which I ended up going and adding a little bit of blue into this violet because I wanted it to lean more blue violet, because I mixed a red violet. So
Oh, that's pretty.
yeah, so this was pretty much straight violet from the set, but then I added just a little bit of blue into it. So I wanted, because like I said, I wanted to make sure it felt violet to blue violet-ish. Let's see if I can find the red violet I made. That's the black. Is this the red violet or is this the red? Well, that might have been the orange. That was our orange. Yep. So I think I'm going to have to label them.
Nice red orange there.
Yeah. So what I think I'm gonna do, you can like put like an Avery letter label on the end of each one with a swatch onto it, so I know this one's red. So that's red. Look how pretty. It's going down so pretty. Okay, that's one of our browns. That's a black. Or is that the black? It's a mystery, you guys. Let's see, this is definitely one of our greens. Is this the main green? I think this is the main green. And give it a squeeze here and get some paint to come down. I did 2 greens. This is the main straight out of the bottle green. And then we have, I made a really pretty yellow green. I can't wait for you to see. Okay. So here's the yellow green that I made. Oh, don't twist it the wrong way, Jennifer. You'll make a mess. Okay, here comes our yellow green that I made. Oh, making mess. Look how pretty this yellow green turned out.
Wow. Yeah.
Just really quite happy with that yellow green. Okay. Move all these down. Okay, and let's look at the yellow. So this is the yellow straight from the bottle. So I think if you were to buy like their 12 set of colors, I think you could get 4 to 5 refills in each of these little water pens. So that's quite a good value for money. Okay, let's see what color. Oh, this is our blue-green that I made. So where's the red-violet? Look how pretty this blue-green. I wanted the blue-green to lean more blue than green. Let's see if I did it. If I was successful.
Wow, that's pretty.
Fun. Okay. One of these must be my red-violet. Let's come up here and see if it's this one. Yep, here's my red-violet.
Oh, wow.
So when I mixed it, I was worried it was too similar to the violet. So that's why I went back and added blue into the original violet. So we'll see as it dries down. Are they different enough? Am I going to need to go in here and add some red? Or I could also add a little black into that, I guess, if I wanted to shade it. Okay, let's see now. Is this one of our browns we made, or is this the black? Find out. I think this is one of our browns that we made. Yep. So what brown would you call this, Steve? If you looked at my browns. Is this a sienna brown? No.
I don't know my browns very well.
An umber? It's kind of an umber. I would say it's an umber. It's kind of a bubbly umber. Came out very bubbly. Okay. Now this is our other brown that we made. Well, let's save that. Let's do the black, which is more of a gray. And you're going to see the blue undertones on here. I'll try to get it up on the screen here. There. Yeah, that's a really blue, almost a Payne's gray.
And that's just plain black?
They called it black. Okay, now here's our last brown that Steve helped us make. Let's see how it turned out. So hopefully this one is a different brown. Oh yeah. much more red. So this one's closer to an just a brown. What would you call it? A sienna? Yeah, more of a sienna, or I'm looking at all my browns up here to see which one it's closer to. An umber? Did I call that one an umber?
I don't think you can look at the caps and know.
No, we'd have to look at maybe the Faber-Castell pencils. And we need to let it dry too. Okay, those are my 12 colors that we created. Some we created 7 out of them are my creation because I added blue into that one. So that's all of them. And look, some of them are leaking over here, see?
Oh, no.
Now we knew this was going to happen. These are cheap watercolor pencils. Cheap water pens. That's normal for water pens to leak. Some of them are more leaky than others, especially cheap ones. So I'm not surprised by this. You want to store them tip up in a container like a jar or a can. That will prevent them from leaking. So I'm not surprised by that. I mean, I'm saddened, but I'm not surprised. Okay, so let's see how, as they're drying down, how we like them. It's very interesting, and this paper is very interesting. Should we paint something real quick? A little flower, and we'll call it good. I'm just going to do a little flower. So let's use our violet. Or no, our reds. I want to do our reds with our orange. Our leaky reds. What I don't want is them to leak the wrong direction, which I think this one is leaking the wrong direction, meaning it's coming out here. That will be bad if that's what's happening. Okay, this is future Jennifer interrupting this video. What happened is I was in bed last night thinking about these leaky pens and I had an inspiration. I was thinking about how when you're doing plumbing, you use this Teflon tape. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
This Teflon tape to wrap around the threads of pipes to help them not leak. So this morning I said to Steve, do we have some of that Teflon tape? Because I thought maybe it would help to wrap around the threads right here to prevent the paint from leaking out. So I've been sitting here, I've tested it on 3 different pens so far, and it's working. Now it's not working 100%, but oh boy, is it way better than what it was before. Remember, you just saw how it was practically bleeding all over me with paint. It's not doing that anymore. So let me show you how I'm fixing it. And I've also kind of come up with a solution for how to label my pens with the color that is inside each one. So I'm going to show you that too. And then I'll send you back to yesterday, Jennifer, and she'll wrap up the video. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing here. I've got these 3 pens fixed. You can see the Teflon tape right there at the threading. And what I'm doing is, this is the Teflon tape. Where do you buy this, Steve?
Any hardware store, hardware area of like Walmart.
Like
it's
in
pretty
the plumbing
ubiquitous,
area?
yeah.
Okay, so and it says on it Ptfe thread seal tape, mil spec 1/2 inch by 260 inches. That's what it says. It has a little white collar on it. I think it's pretty cheap too, right? And it's really thin. Kind of reminds me of washi tape in some ways, but it's really flimsy and very satisfying to play with. Okay, so what I've been doing is I've been taking the pen apart, and the first step is dry it off really good. I don't want any moisture there to prevent a good seal. And I'm taking the pen and setting it in a cup so it won't spill while I'm working on it. And then I'm taking a Q-tip and just cleaning out all of that excess paint that has been leaking out. So the other thing I noticed is the leak is starting at the top of the threads. So as I'm putting the Teflon tape on, I'm kind of focusing the majority of the Teflon at the top. I hope that makes sense. It'll make sense as I'm threading it on. Okay, then I first started trying it out with maybe like 6 inches of the Teflon, but it ends up I need closer to a foot of the Teflon, and I've been cutting it because it's kind of hard to tear. I don't know, do you tear it when you're doing plumbing, Steve?
I usually tear it, but it will stretch it.
Yeah.
It like stretches really far. It's not that it's difficult, it just stretches a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how I'm doing it. I'm not a plumber. This is the first time I've ever worked with Teflon tape, so there may be better ways to do this. So what I'm doing is holding it with my thumb like this. And then, like I said, focusing the majority of the Teflon at the top. So sort of spinning it and holding it snug. Steve says you don't have to like pull it really tight. More the idea is snug. See how it holds itself really close up against the threads? It does that with the plumbing too, I believe. Okay, let me make sure. I'm trying to get it so you can see. There, that's better if I rotate that hand. Okay, so instead of spinning the Teflon down low here, I'm trying to keep it up here at the beginning, and then I'm going to give more down at the bottom. So kind of keep the thickest part of the Teflon up here, like that. Spinning, spinning. And then as I see the tail of Teflon getting shorter, I'll move it down lower. So I'm just keeping it taut. I'm not like pulling really tight. Okay, there, it's getting shorter now, the tail is, you can see that. Now I'm gonna pull it down and let that Teflon move down lower. Okay, then what I was doing, it was just kind of letting it twirl between my fingers, and I can feel it gripping into the threads more as I'm twirling it like that. Okay, then we'll put it on. And it definitely feels snugger as I'm twirling it on. I don't have to like force it or anything, but it feels snugger, and you can see it pushing up against that valve thing better. See how it kind of kissed up against there? So I think this is gonna work. Now, it probably won't be perfect. I mean, definitely isn't gonna be perfect. You can see it's trying to push through already. But I think it's going to keep it from being a huge mess. Okay, let's test it now. Okay, I'm going to squeeze here to get the paint starting. You can see it pushing through the valve and heading down into the bristles. Okay, and then I'm going to paint my swatch. So I've been painting these swatches onto this piece of cardstock. This is nothing fancy, this cardstock. Okay, and then when I was seeing the leak was when I would stand it up, so any extra paint here, that's when it would start to leak down. So far I'm not seeing any. And then especially when I push this on, it would force the paint down through and then it would leak. And it's working! Isn't that awesome? I'm so happy. Okay, so like I said, not a perfect solution, but way better. Not too bad for a cheap Chinese water brush. Okay, so then what I've been doing with these little swatches I've been making on this cardstock, I'm taking this little hole punch that I have. This is a 3/4 inch hole punch by EK Tools. I purchased this to help us with our color wheels that we make for our color scheme selector. So I grabbed this, and I have some clear duct tape. Well, no, packing tape, that's the word. And what I'm doing is just cutting a little circle out like that. And Rose hates this, so you're gonna see her be really mad in the back. Well, not mad, but agitated. She hates this sound right here. You guys are gonna hate it too. See, she's like,
give me away, give me away.
So just a tiny little piece, and pick up that circle, and then I've just been putting it on way down low on the body of the pen. And then I figure I can pull this off if I ever change the color that's inside the pen. Just like that. So now I'll know that this one is the orangey color and this one is the brown color. Isn't that great? I'm so excited. So they'll be labeled. I'll have the different greens labeled. I'm going to go through and swatch and label, and I think I'll put the little ones weren't leaking. I'm going to double check, but I think the little ones were fine. It was just these fatter ones that were leaking. So I'm just going to put Teflon on the fat ones, label all of them, and then I'll have this perfect set. And I think when we set out on our travels, I'm going to take these with me and I'm going to practice with them and see how they work. So they're the ones that I'm going to take with me when we head out. So, all right, I'm going to send you back to yesterday's Jennifer and she'll finish up the video. So have fun. Okay, so let's do a quick painting here of a really loose flower. So I'm going to go kind of like these swirly shapes. Lots of paint, Jennifer. This is watercolor here. Lots of paint. So I'm going to just lay in some nice swirly shapes. And hopefully with the glycerin, it's not going to dry too fast. That's the plan. Okay, there's our swirly shapes. And then, oh yeah, this one's a leaker. I look like I'm bleeding. Look at that. That's a problem. Okay, I'm just gonna squeeze and get all the leaks out before I put it into my container here. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, then come in with my red and do some more loose shapes into it. And let the colors kind of flow together. Okay, like that. And we'll drop in a little bit of yellow for some fun blooms of color into it. Because we're on a canvas, right? Let's push this canvas. Let the blooms move in. Okay, now while that's moving, I'm bleeding. Let's get the green and do a little leaf here. Okay, we've got this big flat brush. Let's use it to our advantage. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess we'll push the... Okay, be careful. We don't want too much of it to... Okay, like that. Leave some paint behind. Oh, these are leakers. It's these big boys that are the leakers. Okay, now let's get that darker green up here before it dries. Which one was the dark green? We definitely need to label this. Is he green? No. Is he green? Yeah. Okay, then we'll drip some green in there and help it to kind of travel into it like that. Okay. A few little fun things going on there too. Lots of paint in the middle. I think I'll pull some of it up. Definitely drying slower. That hopefully that's that glycerin. Okay, very cool. All right, we're gonna let that dry. Well, actually, I'll just hit it with my drying thing while I give you my final thoughts. Okay, other than I'm covered in paint, which is fine. My final thoughts are, This is awesome. I think I would totally invest in some better quality water brush pens, so that I know they wouldn't leak. So I'd do some research on that. And then the Sargent art paint is decent kids paint. I mean, it's got some white undertones. That's kids paint. It's not gonna be great translucent paint. So if I was gonna do this for like a much more high quality coloring page or a piece of art, I would invest in some liquid watercolor, like by Dr. P.H. Martin, someone like that, to fill into my nicer water brush pens. That's probably my thinking on this. This is really fun. I love the mixing of the colors. I love the portability of these. All of that is just really fun. This is really exciting. This paper is weird. I don't know. I'm going to have to experiment with it. I want to try some gouache on it, some acrylics on it. I like that it's not too toothy, so I feel like I could use my brush pens on it and not chew up the nibs too much. So I'm going to play around with it some more. But yeah, this was, I would say, a success. I learned a lot, and it was what I thought was going to happen. It was going to pique my interest and make me want to do more of this. So a definite success on this. It's almost dry now. If we want to flip the camera back down so you can see, see these weird blooms over here in this paint. That's just a sign of the children's quality of the liquid paints. Like I said, if I were to invest in the liquid P.H. Martin's water paint, we would have a different result here. But look how much fun. We still got some fun interactions of the colors here. Because I'm speeding up the drying process, it's not doing the neatest of interactions, but it's still pretty. I would come in and doodle on top of it now and make some fun things added to it, but you get the idea. I wanted you to at least see the kinds of interactions and fun loose things that you can do with it. So yeah, I would call this a success. I had a lot of fun. I'm messy and I have new art supplies to play with, so yeah, what more can you ask for? I hate that phrase. I hate it when people say, what more can you ask for? There's way more things I can ask for. Better quality pens, better quality paint, a better ending up piece of art. I mean, you can always ask for more, right? So, but I did get a really good experience, so that is awesome. And yeah, that's all I can ask for right now is a good experience. So yeah, so I'm gonna go have some dinner and think about whether I need to invest in some more supplies. I hope you had fun and that you're inspired to try some new supplies like this too. And I hope you have a wonderful, colorful watercolor, World Watercolor Month. Now I'm confused day. Anyway, have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody. Now I get to tell you about this exciting giveaway we're doing for World Watercolor Month. We're celebrating and we want to give away this, the full set of Derwent Inktense pencils. They're beautiful. They're so much fun to play with, and I want you to win. So follow the link in the video description. There's lots of ways to enter, but you have a limited time. We're doing this for July 2020. The winner will be announced on August 1st, so that gives you all the way to the end of July. So don't delay. Get your entries in right away so you have a chance to win this complete set of pencils. I'm so excited for you. Good luck, everyone. Get your entries in, and we'll see you on August 1st for the winner. Good luck!